Hi, Sparkles. This is episode 144 of the Intuitive Wisdom podcast. I'm still working my way through Eckhart Tolle's new book, A New Earth, and read a concept I knew I had to share with you. It gifted me a perspective shift, and those are priceless. Today, we're talking about the term human being, specifically what happens when you look at human as the adjective for being. Mind blown yet? Here are my thoughts. Hi, and welcome to Intuitive Wisdom. I am your host, Kay Margaret Solorio. I am an author, spiritual teacher, and certified Angel Reiki Master. I believe that all the answers you seek are inside you. When you learn to discern between the ego and the intuition, tune into spirit, you can hear that whisper, your intuitive wisdom, answering your questions and showing you the next right step. On this podcast, we explore that connection and the good that happens in the world when you learn to hear your intuition, trust your intuitive wisdom, and allow your magic. Quick announcements before we get to the episode. My book is now available on Amazon. Make Ease Your Vibe is the title, so be sure to search that and purchase your copy. It's available in paperback or on Kindle, and I have lots of good bonuses available for you if you go to my website, deliciousease.com. I also on the website have a free 20-minute guided meditation that you can download, and to get started, if you're interested, it's a visualization. It helps you really expand what's possible and create that energetic anchor in your future self-reality. This month in our community, the topic is connecting with our divine feminine energy. So focusing on what makes your soul sparkle. So we're exploring what that means, divine feminine energy, opening our heart centers and activating your inner goddess. I have 2 live sessions every month, and if you're listening again when this releases, they are this week. We've got a group energy angel healing, so we'll be connecting with Archaea Ariel, again, focusing on that divine feminine energy, and then a guided meditation at the end of the week. And if you go to the website, you can actually register to join our live session on Zoom for the guided meditation for free. deliciousease.com/services to register. And I think that's it for now. Let's get to the episode. So my question for you today, how did you learn to classify yourself as a creature? So I got a story for you. I don't know when this was, probably a while ago. We were walking to the park, me and my kids, and my son saw something in the distance and started describing it and said, "Oh, look at that dog," and is human. And I loved, one, that he noticed the dog first and that he recognized, especially that it looked like the dog was walking the human. But also this genuine respect and love for creatures everywhere that my kids have taught me as they exude that. And no obvious emphasis put on the person, right? So I just use the word person instead of human. My kids only use the word human really when they talk about other people. When I was brought up in school and whatever social conditioning I learned, we always referred to people as persons or people, not as humans or as creatures or as animals. There was a very big distinction that you are a person and animals are animals. We are not the same. People have dominion over animals and over the world, and there is this separation. And that's how I viewed the world, because that's what I was taught and took on. And now that I've learned more about spirituality and that we are all spirit incarnate, and it is the same energy, the same God, source, spirit, universe that is all of us and that is all of everything in this world, that we are connected, where that disassociation doesn't seem accurate. And I can even more appreciate the connection that my children see when they look at the world, and they really enjoy learning about animals and different creatures and just seeing us as humans as part of that ecosystem and creature world, that we all have our place. Like, it's not this separation, it's together, just like it could be an animal and his human. we all are creatures out there with, personalities and things to do. So I mentioned in the intro that I'm still reading through Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth and really enjoying it. I had a side note on that to remind yourself of divine timing. I don't know how you are, but I often, or I used to more than I do now, scold myself for not reading at my normal pace, like sitting down and plowing through a book in a weekend or something. There's a lot going on, and I have a lot of books going on and I love learning and taking in information, and I get a suggestion of something, and then I usually request the book at the library, and then when it shows up, then I got to read it. And lately I've had a very large stack of books to get through and all these different topics that I've been inspired by. So there's a little more than I have time to do it in the, 3 weeks you get to borrow a book from the library. That being said, don't scold yourself for not reading at your normal pace. I think it's important to remember that when books come into your life and they have something to teach you, there is a reason, and the reason is not to start it cover to cover. So sometimes that means I flip through the book. I don't get to read the whole thing, but I read a passage and it changes me forever, or it inspires me to do something else. And then I know that book coming into my life had its purpose, even if I didn't get to read it and enjoy it from cover to cover. This one I'm enjoying cover to cover, but I pick it up and put it back down over months, I guess it's been now. And every time I pick it up and read a few more passages, it's broken up into sections, so it's pretty easy to do that with. It hits, what's another way of saying that? It's very timely, and I am reminded of divine timing, and there's a reason. If I had read that piece earlier, and might not have made the sense, I wouldn't be coming at it with the perspective I do now. And so remember divine timing this week as you go out in the world and support yourself. So human being is what came up, right? And this idea that human is the adjective and being is the noun. You are a being first, and in this lifetime, you are a human in human form physically. And I really appreciate that. And I started to talk about it some in the story I told you about my son seeing a dog and pointing it out and then noting that the dog had his human and wasn't by himself. In seeing all creatures, but more too, and I think we've talked about this a lot on the podcast, is that recognizing that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, so that the noun is the being. You are a being. And I think there is great peace in that truth. There is a relief in that connectedness. So again, recognizing that spirit is in everything and spirit is in us. And so we have that in common. I feel like that is with all, if you look it down to the atomic level, all the molecules are, the protons and the electrons and everything are vibrating. So there is energy in everything, even if the cells are moving more slowly and the thing feels solid, like a tree or a chair or, everything is vibrational. So even if we perceive it as solid, it's still at a molecular level is energy, and spirit is energy. And I think there is also inspiration in beings being, sure, we'll go with it, incarnate. Knowing we're connected to the source, to spirit, to universe, to the power that creates universes is inspiring and let some relief in that thinking that because I think I'm interrupting myself, fun. As humans, I feel like we're often taught, maybe it's this perspective where I described people being separate from the world and people being separate from the animal kingdom, in that also gave responsibility and this notion that we have the ability to control all the factors. That as being responsible for all the factors, we have the ability and have to control all the factors. And when you realize we're beings having this human experience, yes, we have great powers and many things we can do, but the world is greater and we are part of something bigger, and it is not our job to control everything and everyone and all the different pieces in our lives. It is to lead with that energy and allow things to manifest in our wake, kind of, if that makes sense. So another thing I love is this perspective shift. The wisdom we seek is not only inside us, which is what this podcast is all about, it's also sometimes right in front of us. So here's this term, human being, that I've heard all my life, and I thought of as one word in my mind. And now being separate, human, and then being, and an adjective describing a noun. It's this new perspective on where the emphasis is and what implications that has. Perspective shifts are wonderful food for thought, so I hope I've given you something to think about this week. But I love most how they expand our consciousness, our understanding of ourselves, and our ability to empathize with others. You are a being, a human being. Glory be. So next week on the podcast, I have my interview with Emor Zone, a certified confidence coach. We talk about her book, The Little Book of Good Enough, the ego, the invisible waiting room, and self-acceptance. It's going to be a good one. See you next week. Hey, Sparkles. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Intuitive Wisdom Podcast. If you haven't already, click subscribe and follow. And if you love this episode, please leave a review and share it on Instagram and tag me at Delicious Ease. That's DELICIOUSEASE, so that I can say thank you. Every review helps another person find this podcast and learn to welcome their own intuitive wisdom. You can download your free 20-minute guided ideal day meditation on my website, deliciousease.com. Again, that's DELICIOUSEASE.com. And have you bought my book yet? Now available on Amazon. Be sure to find my book, Make Ease Your Vibe, for mindset, energy, and time strategies that help you raise your vibration and enjoy the life you live. See you next week.